My sister tried to ruin my wedding and steal my fiancé, but my fiancé had the last laugh. Exposing her in front of everyone, I'm still reeling from what happened this past weekend, and I honestly don't know where to begin. My 29F wedding to Liam, 30M, was supposed to be the happiest day of my life, a culmination of 5 years of love, laughter, and building a future together. Instead, it turned into a scene straight out of a telenovela, all thanks to my sister, Chloe, 32F. For context, Chloe and I have always had a complicated relationship. She's 3 years older and has always been the golden child in our parents' eyes. She was prettier, smarter, more popular, and always seemed to get everything she wanted. I, on the other hand, was always just Chloe's little sister. No matter what I achieved, it was always overshadowed by her. I got into a good college. Chloe got into an Ivy League. I got a promotion. Chloe just launched her own successful startup. It was exhausting, and honestly, it created a deep-seated resentment in me that I've spent years trying to suppress. When I met Liam, it felt like I had finally found something that was truly mine, something Chloe couldn't touch. He's kind, funny, incredibly supportive, and just good. He sees me, really sees me, and loves me for who I am, not as an extension of Chloe. Our relationship blossomed, and when he proposed 6 months ago, I was over the moon. The wedding planning began almost immediately, and I tried to involve Chloe, despite my reservations. She was my only sister, after all, and I wanted to believe that she could be happy for me, even just for one day. I asked her to be my maid of honor, a decision I now deeply regret. From the start, things were off. Chloe was lukewarm about everything. She'd sigh dramatically when I showed her dress swatches, roll her eyes at my floral choices, and generally make me feel like my wedding was an inconvenience to her busy schedule. I tried to brush it off, telling myself she was just stressed with her own life, but a nagging feeling in my gut told me otherwise. The real trouble started a few months ago. Liam and I decided to take dance lessons for our first dance. Chloe, being my maid of honor, was often around, helping with various wedding tasks, and sometimes she'd tag along to our dance lessons. At first, it seemed harmless. She'd offer suggestions, sometimes even dance a few steps with Liam when I needed a break or to watch. I didn't think anything of it. Liam is a very friendly and outgoing person, and is generally good with people. He's always been respectful and loving towards me, so I had no reason to suspect anything. Then, I started noticing little things. Chloe would linger a little too long when talking to Liam. She'd touch his arm or shoulder more often than felt appropriate for a sister-in-law. She'd make comments about how handsome he was or how lucky I was, but there was always an underlying tone that made me uncomfortable. I'd bring it up to Liam, gently, saying things like, "Hey, Chloe seems to be really enjoying the dance lessons," and he'd just laugh it off, saying, "Yeah, she's a fun person, your sister." I tried to tell myself I was being paranoid, letting my lifelong insecurities about Chloe get the best of me. The week leading up to the wedding was a whirlwind of last-minute preparations. Family started arriving from out of town, and the house was a constant buzz of activity. Chloe was around a lot, supposedly helping, but she always seemed to be wherever Liam was. If he went to get a drink, she'd follow. If he was talking to a relative, she'd insert herself into the conversation. It was subtle, but I noticed it. I tried to talk to her about it, saying, "Hey, Chloe, I know you're excited for the wedding, but I feel like you're a bit intense around Liam." She just scoffed and said, "Oh, don't be ridiculous, my name." "I'm just being friendly. You're always so insecure." Her words stung, and I retreated, feeling foolish for even bringing it up. The day before the wedding, we had our rehearsal dinner. It was a lovely, intimate affair with close family and the wedding party. Towards the end of the evening, after a few glasses of wine, I stepped away to use the restroom. As I was walking back, I heard voices coming from a secluded corner of the venue. Voices I recognized. It was Chloe and Liam. My heart pounded as I crept closer, hiding behind a large floral arrangement. I heard Chloe say, in a hushed but intense voice, "Liam, you know you deserve better than her. You know we have something special. Just admit it." My breath hitched. I felt a cold dread wash over me. I wanted to scream, to run out there and confront them, but I was frozen, unable to move. Then I heard Liam's voice, calm and steady. "Chloe, what are you talking about? I love my name. She's my future wife." Chloe scoffed. "Oh, please. You're just saying that. Look at us, Liam. We have chemistry. We always have. You're settling for her. You know you want me." My stomach churned. I felt sick to my core. Was this really happening? Was my own sister trying to steal my fiancé the night before our wedding? Then Liam said something that completely threw me off guard. He said, "Chloe, I know what you're doing, and I'm not falling for it." Chloe's voice was sharp. "What do you mean?" "I mean, I've seen you trying to undermine my name for years. I've seen how you try to make her feel small, how you try to take everything good in her life, and now you're trying to take her wedding, her happiness, her fiancé. It's pathetic, Chloe." I almost gasped aloud. Liam knew. He had seen through her all along. A wave of relief, mixed with anger and a strange sense of vindication, washed over me. I wanted to hug him, to cry, to scream. Chloe's voice was a low growl. "You're making a mistake, Liam. I'm the better choice. I always have been." "No, Chloe," Liam said, his voice firm. "You're not. And you never will be. Now, if you'll excuse me, I need to go find my fiancé." He walked away, leaving Chloe fuming in the corner. I stayed hidden for a moment longer, my mind racing. Liam knew. He had protected me, even when I hadn't realized I needed protecting. I felt an immense surge of love and gratitude for him, but also a burning fury towards Chloe. How could she? My own sister. I decided not to confront Chloe then. I wanted to process what I had heard, to talk to Liam, and to figure out how to handle this without completely derailing our wedding. I found Liam a few minutes later, looking for me. He smiled, his eyes full of love, and said, "There you are. I was wondering where you went." I hugged him tightly, a silent promise of my unwavering trust and love. He hugged me back, sensing something was up, but didn't push. The next morning, wedding day. I was a bundle of nerves and excitement. I had barely slept, replaying the conversation from the night before in my head. I still hadn't told Liam I had overheard them, but I knew I would eventually. Chloe was, surprisingly, quiet and subdued during the bridal preparations. She avoided eye contact with me, and her usual cutting remarks were absent. I wondered if Liam had truly put her in her place. The ceremony itself was beautiful. I walked down the aisle, my heart soaring as I saw Liam waiting for me, his eyes shining. We exchanged vows, rings, and kisses, and I felt like I was floating on air. We were finally husband and wife. The reception was held at a beautiful outdoor venue, decorated with fairy lights and my carefully chosen floral arrangements. Everything was perfect. The music was lively, the food was delicious, and our friends and family were all there, celebrating with us. Then came the toasts. My dad gave a heartfelt speech, my mom teared up, and then it was Chloe's turn, as maid of honor. I braced myself, wondering what she would say, especially after what I had overheard. She stood up, a glass of champagne in her hand, and smiled, but it wasn't her usual bright, genuine smile. It was something colder, almost predatory. She started by saying the usual maid of honor platitudes, talking about growing up with me, sharing memories. I started to relax a little, thinking maybe she had finally given up her schemes. But then, her tone shifted, and now, a little story about the happy couple, she began, her eyes sweeping over the room, lingering on Liam for a moment. "You know, when my name first introduced us to Liam, I immediately saw what a wonderful man he was. So charming, so handsome, so attentive. A shiver ran down my spine. Attentive? What was she implying? In fact, she continued, her voice gaining a theatrical edge, Liam and I actually bonded quite a bit during the wedding planning, especially during their dance lessons. He's such a good dancer, isn't he? She winked at Liam, who looked visibly uncomfortable. My heart began to pound again. No, she wouldn't. She couldn't. We spent so much time together, Chloe went on, her voice dripping with insinuation, practicing, laughing, sharing secrets. I started to wonder, actually, if maybe I was the one he was really meant to be with. A stunned silence fell over the room. Guests exchanged bewildered glances. My parents looked mortified. I felt a hot flush creep up my neck. My sister, at my wedding, was trying to imply she had something going on with my new husband. Chloe seemed to revel in the sudden attention. I mean, we just clicked, you know? There was this undeniable spark. And honestly, Liam, I still think we would have been perfect together. She took a sip of her champagne, a smug look on her face, as if she had just dropped the biggest bombshell of the century. I felt a surge of pure, unadulterated rage. My vision blurred slightly. I wanted to jump across the table and physically remove her. How could she be so cruel? So utterly selfish? My parents were trying to signal her to stop, but she was ignoring them. Just as I was about to stand up and confront her, Liam, my wonderful, amazing husband, calmly stood up. He walked over to Chloe, a gentle smile on his face, and took the microphone from her hand. "Thank you, Chloe, for that interesting toast," he said, his voice carrying clearly across the silent room. He then turned to face me, his eyes full of love and a hint of mischief. "You know," he began, addressing all the guests, "when Chloe mentioned bonding during dance lessons, she's absolutely right. We did spend a lot of time together, and she did try very hard to convince me that we had a spark and that I should leave my name for her." A collective gasp went through the crowd. Chloe's face went from smug to a horrified shade of pale. My parents looked like they wanted the earth to swallow them whole. Liam continued, his voice calm and clear. What Chloe failed to mention, however, is what happened next. She propositioned me, repeatedly, and tried to kiss me more than once. Another round of gasps. My jaw dropped. I knew she had tried to flirt and insinuate, but she had actually propositioned him and tried to kiss him. My rage intensified. "And each time," Liam said, looking directly at Chloe, who was now visibly trembling, "I politely, but firmly, rejected her. Because the truth is, Chloe, there is no spark between us. There is no chemistry. There is no future. There is only my name." He turned back to me, his smile radiant. "She is my spark, my chemistry, my future. She is the woman I chose, the woman I love, and the woman I just married." He walked back to me, took my hand, and kissed it tenderly. The entire room erupted in applause, cheers, and murmurs of shock and outrage directed at Chloe. My parents rushed over to Chloe, pulling her aside, their faces a mixture of anger and embarrassment. Chloe, completely humiliated, tried to slink away, but everyone was staring at her. She eventually made a hasty exit, her face bright red, her grand plan completely shattered. The rest of the evening was a blur of apologies from my parents, comforting hugs from friends, and constant assurances from Liam that he loved only me. He explained later that he had been playing along with Chloe's advances, not to encourage her, but to gather evidence, to see how far she would go, and to have something to expose her with if she tried anything like this. He had even secretly recorded some of their conversations where she was making her advances, just in case. He didn't want to ruin my wedding day by confronting her before, so he waited for her to make her move. He said he had a feeling she would try something during the toast. My heart swelled with love and admiration for him. He had protected me, even when I wasn't aware of the full extent of the danger. My parents were furious with Chloe. They apologized profusely to me and Liam, expressing their shame and disbelief. They said they would deal with Chloe, and honestly, I don't care what they do. I'm done with her. I don't want her in my life, or Liam's. This was the ultimate betrayal, and there's no coming back from it that I'm still processing everything. The relief, the anger, the love I feel for Liam. Our wedding day was supposed to be perfect, and in a way, it still was. It showed me, unequivocally, who Liam truly is, a man of integrity, loyalty, and unwavering love. It also showed me, definitively, who my sister truly is, a bitter, manipulative, and jealous individual who will stop at nothing to try and tear down my happiness. We are currently on our honeymoon, trying to put the drama behind us. But it's hard to shake off the feeling of what happened. I know I need to set firm boundaries with Chloe, and likely cut her out of my life entirely. Liam supports me completely. We have each other, and that's all that matters. But seriously, who does that at their own sister's wedding? My mind is still reeling. I needed to share this story because I honestly can't believe it happened. I'm just so grateful to have Liam.